welcome again to yet another Helios forecast. I'm Benjamin Newman, and it is truly an honor to be offering this now. This month's video contains a full set of horoscopes for all 12 signs of the Zodiac Wheel and an in-depth 5-card tarot reading that applies to all who watch it. Together, these free services can potentially give you a kind of beginner's toolkit to carry with you as you meet the events to come this month, equipped with increased clarity and with helpful insights integrated into your educated decision-making and opportunity catching. To get the full story as it applies to you, your unique individual circuitry, and the events unfolding in your personal life, contact me at manyfacesofhelios@gmail.com to schedule a session in which I use 5 different methods to deliver a blueprint, map, and key, complete with a comprehensive set of strategies directly to you in a 2-hour session, which can easily occur regardless of where you are geographically. Okay, thank you for your patience. Providing information about these sessions is what allows me to continue offering this free service. It's a delightful line of work. So let's dive right in and take a journey across the Zodiac Wheel. Each of us contain elements from each Zodiac sign, so it is certainly worth taking in all of the following information as a whole. However, it is undoubtedly worth keeping an extra sharp ear out for those horoscopes that speak directly to your sun signs and rising signs.
Aries. Examine your career aspirations early on this year, considering your truest desires as your 10th house lights up. After Venus lights a passionate flame in your dream space and interpersonal world, Mars joins Neptune in your 12th house by mid-month as you delve deeper into the nature of your psyche, perhaps tying up loose ends. As you clean house within your body-mind temple, the new moon asks what you wish of people. The full moon in its home house of Cancer offers new perspectives involving home and family, beckoning you to refine your sense of unconditional, self-sustaining security. Taurus, your 9th house burns bright early on, driving you to digest and deposit new information just before Venus and Mercury cross over into your 9th house, calling attention to the passion and efficiency that is or is not gracing your career. Mars and Neptune drive you to enhance and expand the diversity and depth of your social life, before the Sun joins the others in the 10th house with a new moon, leaving you with a soaring focus on career by month's end. Gemini, with increased degrees of intimacy early on, aided by a full 8th house, allow yourself to plunge deeper than you may usually be inclined to dive into the hidden aspects of your life, spanning from your spiritual and psychological states to your financial situation. This pocket of emphasis transforms as Venus and Mercury move into your 9th house, offering ease and delight should you decide to learn as you teach and teach as you learn. The Sun joins in on the fun with the new moon in your 9th house, driving you to expand that which has attained more depth and meaning within you. Cancer, with a lot of fire and air in the stars, you are likely to feel juggled around and busy in a way that actually comforts your cardinal nature. Organization is called for within your relationships, perhaps through some new ingredients added early on. Venus and Mercury join Mars in your 8th house within the first week as you swim much deeper down into the heart of your expanding areas of intensifying focus, enhancing the gravity of your wisdom as the Sun jumps in with the new moon. The full moon in your sign can be felt physically. Pay attention to the sensations and the messages within them. Leo, continue to jump out of your comfort zone as Jupiter in your sign continues to aid the expansion of your core. The health of your physicality is the theme of the first week. Use the assistance offered here by Venus, Mercury, and the Sun in your 6th house, as Pluto continues to rewrite many aspects of your genetic blueprint. Venus and Mars merge in your house of relationships, soon followed by the Sun. Watch for romantic sparks, follow them, and meditate beneath the full moon. A download awaits. Virgo, with a lot of busy energy this month, you shouldn't have trouble staying grounded, but you will undoubtedly feel the action in the air, starting off with a loaded 5th house. You could pull in some serious personal benefits by launching new creative ideas before Mercury goes retrograde on the 22nd. Venus and Mercury join Mars comfortably in your 6th house of work and discipline, so it should be easy to allow your visions to pan out. The full moon shines a light in your social circles, collaborative efforts, and big dreams. Don't rush your relationships. Anticipate a potential passionate encounter near the month's end. Libra, the active nature of this month may sweep you off your feet, providing the perfect opportunity to set the practice of meditation or yoga into your daily routine. To stay grounded and alert, a lot of energy moves between your 4th and 5th house early on, emphasizing home and family before bringing forth new creative visions. Tend to a space within your home from whence you can do what you most enjoy. Allow the full moon the space and silence to show you your next move. Scorpio, reach out to the masses first thing, extending your networks with the aid of Venus, Mercury, and the Sun in your third house. Then take all that love, all that knowledge and inspiration back into your home space by mid-month, using some elbow grease as needed. After your sacred space is set, delve into a new field of study as the full moon illuminates your ninth house. Consider the possibility of an international audience as you put yourself out there to be seen. Jump right into your creative pursuits after the 15th. Sagittarius, start this month off by assessing the degree to which you value yourself, and consider amping that up a bit. What are your natural talents, and how might you employ them in a delightful way? Don't worry about the weight of Saturn in the house of that which comes most naturally to you. Transformation is at hand, and all of this busyness can serve as a reminder to stay present with what is most important to you, if you allow it to. With the Sun in your second house as the moon sets your 8th house ablaze, try taking a more inventive approach as you face the inevitable financial restructuring from atop your comfortable foundation. Capricorn, as one of the great anchors of our species, your grounding presence can be very helpful throughout this busy month. Take care not to let this seemingly external pressure distract you from your own pursuits, as this is the best time for you to set your intentions for the year. As the Sun moves through the exact position it took upon your birth in the first house, jump on the opportunity to be a little selfish and get away with it. What do you want? What do you want to be? Try some potentials on for size. Take a proactive approach as you hunt and gather. Aquarius, take some reflective time out whenever you can find it, especially early on as your 12th house burns bright with the Sun, Mercury, and Venus. This will be a busy month, but there is much for you to gain from within the silent gaps. The full moon in your 6th house asks you to feel out whether or not your current contribution to the world is in line with what you would intend. How can you modify your current course? Pisces, spend some time in nature to integrate the rapid flow of information this month. If you begin by stepping a bit beyond your comfort zone and decide to venture out, seeking excitement within new social circles, you might find yourself quite fulfilled and rewarded unexpectedly. But as Venus and Mercury join Mars in your 12th house, you might want to take some time to be alone and quiet, allowing your naturally dreamy nature to guide you to unforeseen sources of inspiration. When you gaze into the full moon this month, notice the quality of your company. Get creative. Think in terms of romance, excitement, and most of all, fun. It will be wise for us all to carefully take note of Mercury's influence as it goes retrograde on the 22nd, and refrain from launching anything new anywhere near or after that date, especially projects of a social or technological nature. Get everything checked out in the first half of January, and do not launch until March unless you desire to encounter unforeseen complications.
Welcome back. Now let's take a look at what insights we can gather from the wisdom that springs forth from the quantum field as we solidify the world we experience from the ever-changing and boundless sea of potentiality. Central theme, path option 1, path option 2, looking behind and looking ahead. Changes stability. Within this window of time, as the Nine of Wands presents a reflection of our current defenses, it is especially necessary to continue the work we had previously set in motion. Despite the challenges we have faced, something is working for us. We must work diligently towards further uncovering the most reliable sources of our power. This inevitably involves going deep within to the innermost layers of our being and dropping an anchor there, setting up a landline, plugging into our internal generator, and then waiting patiently. The Nine of Wands symbolizes the strongest system of defense and indicates an approaching challenge. However, this challenge is of no surprising nature and embodies a very familiar presence. This is the final ordeal, the last-ditch effort by the opposing forces, or that which seeks to delay or prevent our inevitable glory. The key word here is inevitable. However, this does not remove the element of danger. We will be made to believe in the need to summon our full strength, but we must approach this with patience. The strength to prevail against impossible odds is only earned through the willingness to face the challenges at hand when all other options have been exhausted and all stones have been turned. When we are standing firm amidst great darkness, our light shines bright enough to vanquish the shadowy illusions we created and believed for a time to be external threats. A little homework assignment, if you're open to it, go and watch The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies, and pay close attention to the scenes in which the White Council, or Galadriel in particular, addresses the pressing issue stirring within Dol Guldur, that abandoned fortress. Or better yet, watch all 3 of the Hobbit trilogy, and then immediately go into all of the Lord of the Rings trilogy to get a good idea of what this card entails, minus the orcs, goblins, trolls, dragons, and dark lords and all that. Or at least minus those who take on the physical appearance of these creatures. Anyway, From this position, we can operate by means of two basic methods, the first of which is the art card. This card represents reconstruction, harmonization, modification, and transformation through implementing and integrating new ingredients. Often this involves the fusion of opposites for the purpose of attaining a balanced and centered end result. This card has ties to alchemy, a process through which base elements are purified into precious metals. Through the experience of this path, we willingly attain a unification of many otherwise conflicting aspects of ourselves, not through the presumptuous denial of that which we deem unworthy, uncomfortable, or out of resonance, but through transmutation, consisting of surrender, forgiveness, acceptance, and a solid grasp upon the fact that we cannot be threatened by what does not exist. Our light cannot be extinguished by the presence of that which we do not agree with or resonate with. More than mind over matter, this is mind over illusion, mind over mind, and ultimately truth over fiction, which is not to say that we must repel what we expect to rise above, or what we judge to be untrue, but rather that we must find the unifying, eternally reconciling truth that flows through all that seems to exist or not exist. To live through the darkest night and the brightest day, to witness the full beauty of the twilight and the dawn, to willingly plunge into the blackest depths of our collective shadow with the full and complete knowledge of our totally impervious reality, lighting our way, though we swim blindly by choice. This requires courage, strength, and patience, much like the Nine of Wands implies, but with an additional component, one of great magnitude, making peace with the self, the whole self, including all that we perceive, a kind of peace that can only be achieved through the integration of extremes and through acknowledging all sides within and without. Perhaps the greatest lesson this card teaches is that we must not strive for total positivity, even when it seems and feels to be right, as it does. By doing so, we polarize ourselves in an extreme, thus perpetuating the great pendulum swing holding the world in chaos, especially when we will not look at the dirty result manifesting beyond the borders of our comfortable bubbles, containing whatever positive vibrations or lifestyles we intend to saturate ourselves with in order to maintain our blissful safe zones. Noble or humble as it may seem and feel, this path, more often than not, is one of avoidance, judgment, resistance, and willful ignorance under the guise of spirituality or empowerment. When the whole world and all of its living creatures reflect this state, we will have achieved bliss. Until then, it is merely a half-truth, defined only by that which we choose to ignore or repel through judgments of non-resonance, disbelief, or disagreement. In the meantime, we must willingly trudge through the mud, covered in lead and dust, as if we came here to be the living examples of the resilience of the soul and its ability to work miracles despite the density, the hostility, and the enormous weight of the third dimension. Gold from lead, not gold instead of lead. All aspects are necessary ingredients, and that is the wisdom of this path. The alternative is sadness, grief, despair, disappointment, and regret. The Five of Cups even goes as far as implying that we must not take that path, unless we desire the experience of sadness and so on. It actually implies a need to change directions, thus revealing the art card is kind of the only option, unless we feel that we deserve sadness and disappointment, in which case there remains the implication that we would yet again return to the art card, as it may in fact be the willful experience of sadness, disappointment, and so on that is the remaining essential ingredient for total integration. Granted, there is always the option of remaining in sorrow and succumbing to grief and indulging depression for the sake of itself, because we are perhaps addicted to the habitual act of deriving a sense of self from these emotional states. However, this spread reveals that this line of thinking will not bring fulfillment, and that transmutation must be at hand in the coming days in order to taste the rise of something truly glorious just around the corner. I do not think that those who have come to witness this video would manifest the lowest aspects of this reading. The transcendent joy inherent in the art of mind will not always wear a smile, and can shine in all shades, even the scary ones. After the willing heart lets the full spectrum in, and illusions of bliss and grief fade into the vast masterworks of your living, breathing, and evolving life so raw and real, all that remains is the need to achieve balance through moderation. So there it is. We have a tumultuous past, all of us and each of us, personally and collectively. We have been driven deeply into the habit of consistently strategizing, which in itself is completely fine, but this is intended to be a transitional state. As it has become the constant, and as it has been this way for ages, so must we employ the art of transmutation to achieve peace. This every man for himself philosophy is not fit to drive the world of our children and grandchildren. so it is up to us to set matters straight now. When the major arcana, like the art card, surface, we are usually looking at long-term events with lifelong effects, so it is likely that this spread does in fact in part speak to the course of the entire year or more, but can certainly be applied directly to the month of January in the same fashion the previous forecasts have applied to their respective months. The light at the end of the tunnel is a bright one indeed, at least in potential. The Ace of Cups implies the beginning of a new world, and new degrees of manifested love. It speaks of a fresh start, newfound passion, understanding, and appreciation. The Ace of Cups in the Fate section is not a promise of happiness, but a guarantee that we will have the chance to make happiness for ourselves if we choose to. Awakening intuition is also at work here. And with this comes new perceptions, new attitudes, and philosophies, all of which are liberating in nature. The cup can take many forms, resulting in a variety of effects. It is often said to represent the Holy Grail. Just as Joseph of Arimathea was sustained from water drunk from this cup, so too does love in balance sustain us. This cup's appearance and our tasting of its waters are inevitable, but whether or not the cup we drink from is holy depends on us. Think Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade if you've seen that movie. The true grail will give you life, a false one will take it from you. The way to ensure that this cup will indeed be one of truth is through the art of transmutation and the integration of our shadow. With that, I will quote the timeless masterpiece, A Course in Miracles, with its opening statement said to embody the whole wisdom in the entire epic text within its 14 short words. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. All right. This message has been a pleasure to deliver. Contact me for a personal session in which I provide insight into the mechanics of your life and your world, using a combination of astrology, tarot, and a method called human design, which draws from the I Ching, astrology, the Kabbalistic tree of life, and the Indian chakra system to literally map out your unique personal wiring, allowing me to offer very specific individualized strategies designed to optimize the circuitry of your entire being. Sessions typically last 1 to 2 hours and are priced within a sliding scale between $75 and $100. Honestly, anything feels good in that range, so do not hesitate to offer $75. I also record these sessions and deliver them to you so you can repeatedly refer to them throughout your life. Additionally, for those who cannot or prefer to not show up for any specific time to do a session, I offer 45-minute audio recordings for $50, containing all of the most relevant key points that you will want to hear. And of course, along with the audio recording and with the sessions, I will include all 3 of your charts, your tarot spread, your human design chart, and your astrology chart. You can print them out and put them on your wall if you like. I think they look quite lovely myself. So contact me at facebook.com/HeliosAscending or send an email to manyfacesofhelios@gmail.com to inquire about anything at all, and check back next month for yet another Helios forecast. Thank you for watching.